Hi, I am here. I am here. Sorry, I am a little bit late because I forgot to put in the. What did I forget to put in? I forgot to put in the event details, the description of the video. So that's why I'm a little bit late, and I don't have my wine, so I'm just gonna like go and okay. I am gonna go ahead and post my store hunter shop.com. That is my direct store. Delete that. Delete, yes. Okay. So, hi guys. Hello, Linda. I am going to leave you here very, very briefly and go do two things. I'm going to turn the fireplace on because it's cold in here and I have short sleeves on for some reason. And also, hey, Catherine, and then I'm going to grab a bottle of wine because I really, really need one right now. Okay, I'll be right back. Hello. Hello to everyone. Oh, I'm going to talk to you though. I promise I'm here. You can snoop on my bookcases. What are we drinking today, folks? Okay. I have glass. I have wine. I need wine. Where's my wine? That's a white. I don't want a white. I want a red. Okay, I'm back. All right, what are we drinking tonight? We are drinking the Tobin James Petit Verdot, and that's what I'm going to open right now. I got my glass right here. What are you guys drinking? Linda, your internet's not playing nice? Well, give it a good talking to. Oh, yes. Catherine, I also heard the sigh in my soul. So it's been a busy couple of weeks, you guys. I don't know if you saw online, but I finished the Shadow Path, the first draft, which is always kind of like crazy, which is why I haven't been reading. Oh my gosh, why? Sometimes the top of wine foil, the foil part of the wine bottle opens really easy. Just comes right off. Sometimes it really doesn't, like tonight. So Jen is here. I convinced her to do a grown-up sister sleepover. And David is making us dinner. So, yeah, we need wine. How have you guys been? Hello from New Jersey. NYC, I love it. Missouri, Colorado, Toronto, I love it. The gang's all here. The gang's all here. Bam. New Jersey. I am old fashioned. I use one of these guys for a corkscrew because I find them easier and less complicated to use than a lot of the fancy ones. Yeah, that's clean. If it's not clean, I'm pretty sure that like putting alcohol in it, like, doesn't that what's the word I'm looking for? You guys, I'm so here today. Sterilize. Sterilizes it. Jane says she likes my shirt. Thank you, Jane. This is this was a Poshmark find, actually. This is it was used. I'm a big fan of finding used clothing. So, but it's cute. It's a nice going out shirt. I'm gonna put on a blanket because this is the most incredibly relatable wine process. I'm very glad that this is relatable for you. It's cold. It's cold. But I can't complain because it was like 60 some degrees here today, and I think it's gonna be 70 tomorrow. So, reading, watching, listening, you guys, I will confess I did not read very much at all this week or in the past couple of weeks, because I was finishing the Shadow Path. So most of what I was reading, actually, no, I take that back. I was reading a lot, but it was all kind of research things. I've been researching a lot for the Shadowlands series, doing a lot of research on Celtic gods, but like old Celtic gods, because like a lot of people associate like, oh, the Fae and stuff. The Fae mythology is, old mythology of Ireland. It is, but there were a whole set of there was a Celtic pantheon of gods. And so I've been doing a lot of research on that. I've been reading a lot of random things, native trees of England. There is a difference between a forest and a wood, and it has to do. So I always kind of use those things interchangeably, right? It's like, um, the sequoia forest, the sequoia wood. No, actually, that is not the case. There's difference between the two things, and it has to do with the amount of canopy cover in forest versus wood. I'm dead serious. It's random stuff like that. So I've been reading a lot, but none of it is fun. None of it is fun. So what have I got set up? I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna do a reread of Truth or Beard. This is the re-release, and I have read this before, so this would be a reread, but this is the new edition of Penny Reed's Truth or Beard. You guys, Shelley asked, could you have ever imagined you would know all the things you've learned for your books? No, no. And I honestly think that not all of it is going to stick. I'd love to think that like I absorbed all of it into my deep memory, and there will be some things that stick, like forest and wood. I feel like that is weird and curious enough that I will remember it, but who knows? Ask me in a year. Um, anyway, but so this is the Truth or Beard re-release. It is the new paperback, and you guys, it's so cute, and it's got like it almost is like a chalkboard kind of texture, and it's great. It's a great addition. I picked it up at Barnes and Noble, so I'm gonna reread that, and I'm excited about that. I also did, and I will tell you this because she just did the cover reveal for it, Love's a Witch. I blurred that book. It's a new one from Trisha O'Malley. It's coming out in the fall, so it's not going to be out for a while. It's charming and delightful, but I think it's up for pre-order now, so that's Love's a Witch. Excellent, excellent, fun book. You guys know I love Trisha O'Malley, not only like as a person and an individual, but also she's a great writer. She is, yeah, she's clever. I think sometimes writing things that are perceived as light and humorous, this goes also back to Penny Reed. Writing things that are light and humorous is almost more difficult than writing things that are considered like really deep and dramatic. Comedy is hard, okay? Comedy, timing, all of that, it's difficult to strike that balance between communicating effectively and communicating in a funny way and also making it seem easy. And I think one thing that both Trisha and Penny share as authors, and not the only ones obviously, is that they share an ability to write light things well and make it look easy, and it's not easy at all. um so that's Trisha O'Malley's Love's a Witch. That's up for pre-order. I'm going to reread Truth or Beard, and then the other one I was going to start was one of these two. I haven't decided yet. The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed, or Leah Bardugo, The Familiar. Um, both of these look super fun, and I'm excited to start them. So I haven't decided. So tell me in the comments what your vote is: Wolf and the Woodsman or Leah Bardugo's The Familiar. Obviously, this is vampire-ish, kind of like darker. This definitely looks like more deeper, darker, and this looks maybe, I don't know, because like I feel like this is also dark, but the cover is saying lighter to me. Yeah, so let me know if you guys have an opinion and a vote in the comments. Colleen is reading The Familiar right now. Let me know what you think. So that is the reading portion of the Shelling's voting for The Familiar because the cover looks amazing, right? It does. It's like so old school gothic. I dig it so much. It's so beautiful. 100%. That is why I picked it up in hardcover. I'm curious now. Feel like The Familiar is a good winter read. That's solid. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, there's nothing like super fancy and cool about the interior. However, look at those end pages. It's a pomegranate, you guys. They're beautiful. Beautiful end pages. So that's very cool. So I'm kind of leaning toward The Familiar at this point, but I still want to read The Wolf and the Woodsman. So if you guys have an opinion, put your vote in the comments. That's true, witches have familiars as well, but this is vampire. So let's see, that's what we got going on for reading. Watching. Okay. I've watched 2 things in the past week. Shallon says, in the end you'll read both, but which one first? That is really the question. How about you guys? Let me know in the comments. What are you guys reading? What are you loving? What are you excited about that's like coming out? I feel like the front half of February is always heavily loaded with romance stuff, and like the back end is kind of like everyone catching up on the books that they've bought because we all overbuy. I'm getting my wine. That's nice. Needs to breathe a little bit, needs to open up a little bit. It's not bad. I don't love it, but it's not bad. Um, Watching. I've watched 2 things over the past week, both of which I really loved. One, I've already talked about, which is Dairy Girls, which if you haven't watched Dairy Girls, I find this, I'm just making this connection right now. I find this oddly timely. Okay, watch Dairy Girls. Why should you watch Dairy Girls? One, if you've never watched it before, it's just hilarious. The writing is brilliant. Dairy Girls is about a group of friends, teenage high school friends in Northern Ireland in the mid 90s. So during the time of the Troubles, I don't know if you would call it the Irish Civil War, but the part of the period of time in Northern Ireland where there was actively violence going on between Protestants and Catholics. Okay, so that's the Troubles, Civil War, what have you. But it's set during a very turbulent political time, and this is a connection I'm making like just now as I'm talking to you. But it's a comedy, and I think there is so much to be learned from dealing with a turbulent political time, and I think anyone, no matter what side of the political aisle you're on right now, I think you could definitely classify this as a turbulent political time, with a lot of very strong feelings, and yet you have to live. And I think that's one of the brilliance of Dairy Girls is you see the ordinary lives of these girls going to high school, and like there's a bomb. There's literally a bomb the very first episode on a bridge, and these girls' moms are trying to figure out like, oh my gosh, not that they're not concerned that there's a bomb on the bridge, but really they're concerned about the kids' bus making it to school in time and how much longer it's going to take to run errands. And just like the ordinary average going about life, finding humor, finding, you know, just routine during a turbulent political time, finding love and fulfillment and value and on all of that during a turbulent political time. And I think it is really timely, actually, now that I think about it. And I don't know if that's why I was subconsciously drawn to rewatching it. It's one of my absolute favorite shows, but it is hilarious. Um, so that's my one of my recommendations for watching. There are only 3 seasons of Dairy Girls. I could have had so many more. I could have watched those girls forever, but there are 3 seasons. They are utter gems. They're so good, and yeah. So Dairy Girls, if you haven't watched it, please watch it. You will not be sorry. You might need to use the subtitles. Just letting you know. Um, that's the first thing that I've been watching. The other one that I watched last week, and I'm rewatching it again with my sister, is uh, A Man on the Inside, which is it's delightful comedy. You can tell I've kind of been leaning toward comedies because my head is full and I was finishing up the Shadow Path, so leaning towards comedies for watching. I greatly so Man on the Inside. A Man on the Inside is Ted Danson. It's I think it's a Mike Shore production. Same production team I think as The Good Place, which another fantastic show. Dan Gore maybe. That sounds right. Dan Gore. Anyway, but Ted Danson, brilliant in it. He's so good. And all the supporting cast is really, really good. Stephanie Beatrice, who I love from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, who plays Rosa in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, completely different character in A Man on the Inside. The basic premise is um, Ted Danson plays a retired widower who has lost his wife and is kind of living alone, and his daughter, who is wonderful, and I don't know that name of the actress, but she's on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Um, and I love seeing her do other stuff because she's so funny. So she plays his daughter, and she like challenges him because she's kind of worried about him, like just getting out there and kind of living life again after her mom has passed. And so she's like, you need to find a class or do something, find a hobby that you that gets you excited. And so he happens to see an ad in the newspaper for a private detective's assistant to infiltrate a retirement home to look for a jewel thief. It is delightful. It's funny. It's really heartwarming. I have to say, like, the parents, like I guess the parents and grandparents age, and then like his daughter, who is also parent to 3 teenage boys, and her husband, like every level of this show is thoughtful and funny and real, and I just really enjoy it. I recommend it. I think you could totally, if you, like me, have older parents, this would be something genuinely really fun to watch that you guys would all enjoy. It is, again, it's light comedy done so well that's actually really meaningful and really interesting. It's really brilliant, and I believe it's been just picked up for a second season. So, um, I am I definitely enjoy that. Definitely recommend it. Carly's watching Ghosts on Paramount Plus. Okay, I have heard about that, and I follow the gal who plays one of the ghosts. I can't remember her name, but I follow her on Instagram, and she is so funny. She does like all these little comedy skits on Instagram. She did one. Oh my God, she had a whole Bridgerton, Princess Charlotte, because she's black and her husband is a British redhead. And so she had a whole, like, play off some of the Bridgerton, like, Princess Charlotte, that series, some of the sound bites. And it was so funny. God, she's so funny. And I know she's on Ghosts. And so I keep meaning to watch it. And, like, um, every clip I see of Ghost looks hilarious. Shelly's asking, what is it on? If you're talking about A Man on the Inside, A Man on the Inside is on Netflix. So that's a Netflix one. And also, Dairy Girls is on Netflix as well. So you can watch both of those on Netflix. Um, yes, I have also, Candace said there's a British version and an American version, and they're both very funny. And I have heard the same thing. Thank you very much. Kelly says my hair and makeup and outfit are on point. Thank you so much. The outfit is just a shirt and a pair of jeans, so I can't really take credit for that. The hair I got snipped and trimmed yesterday. She did a really, really good job, and I washed it this morning, so I'm feeling very fluffy, very fluffy. Amy asked if I have seen Nobody Wants This with Kristen Bell and Adam Brody. I haven't seen that, but I hear good things. And I do like Kristen Bell, so I might have to check it out. I know that's also a romantic comedy, I think. I think. Yeah, I've just been in a weird, funky mood. But, so Dairy Girls, watching Dairy, so reading random nonfiction stuff about the Celtic pantheon and forests. Watching lots of comedy, Dairy Girls and A Man on the Inside, both delightful, highly recommend. And three, what have I been listening to? I've been listening to three things that I'm really excited about, and I'm going to open them up so I make sure to get the names right. So, all kind of in the folky vibe of music lately. Well, I was listening to Nonstop Kendrick after the Super Bowl halftime show. So, like, I love Kendrick Lamar, by the way. I have very diverse musical taste. I listen to mostly like rock and folk and country kind of things and lots of international music. But so I discovered Kendrick Lamar when the Black Panther movie came out, and I think he produced the entire soundtrack. He didn't play every track, but I think he was very fundamental in creating the soundtrack for that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. All the Stars, obviously he did that one. So I kind of got turned on to Kendrick Lamar right around the time Black Panther came out. I want to say that's that like 2018 or so. And then I had heard that like he won a Pulitzer Prize for his album Damn, and then I was like, oh, I've got to listen to this. That's amazing. And I was like blown away. I was blown away by his lyricism, by his genius, honestly. So after the Super Bowl, I was just like listening to Kendrick Lamar, tons of Kendrick Lamar. And then I was really excited because the Lumineers' new album came out. It's called Automatic. It's fantastic. I'm a huge Lumineers fan. I've seen them several times live. I think, again, like, what's the link between Kendrick Lamar and the Lumineers? Writing. They're both incredible lyricists that write very real lyrics. I think the Lumineers are super underrated. They first came out in that like neo folk kind of pop era. Most people know them from like Hey Ho. They had a bunch of like kind of radio hits, but their later stuff and they did a visual album. It was so good, and they write so honestly. They write about tough stuff and addiction, family dysfunction. They are really, really underrated. So their album Automatic came out, and I've really enjoyed that. Highly recommend. Yes, the new Mumford single came out. I was kind of Rushmere. Okay, so Rushmere is the album, and I don't know when the full album is coming out. I felt like the first single, I thought, oh, this is okay. This is Mumford and Sons are kind of getting back to their roots, right? Hey, Hannah, I see you. And it felt like very classic Mumford, right? But then Malibu just came out earlier this week, and I love Malibu. Malibu's wonderful. I really like that song. I like it better than Rushmere. I enjoyed Rushmere. It felt like oh dude, Mumford's back. Malibu's beautiful. And then the third one I'll mention is a new Irish group called Amble. I don't think they're new. They're just new to me. They're called Amble, like walking, A-M-B-L-E. And I heard them on TikTok. They just popped up in my FYP on TikTok, and I was really liked their sound, and so I checked them out on Apple Music and recommend Amble, A-M-B-L-E. They're an Irish group, which leads us around back to um, the Shadow Path, which is not in Ireland. It's set in England. Actually, it's set in Shadowlands, London. So that's super fun. And yeah, so that's kind of we've got a full circle moment. Full circle. Jane said she saw the Lumineers the first time at Soldier Field when they opened for U2 during their Joshua Tree tour. Nice. I love that. Joshua Tree is 100% one of my favorite U2 albums. I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see that. Super jealous. Catherine asks, aside from the Woods Forest distinction, do you have any other favorite mythology random facts that you came across that aren't spoilery? Oh my gosh. Too many. They fill my brain. I have been enjoying, I think on a broader, not trivia so much, but like on a broader scale, enjoying the movement of mythologies and peoples. I think one of the things that this series, the Shadowlands series, has taught me so much is that the movement of mythology really tracks the movement of people, which makes sense in a way, but I think it's just cool to remind ourselves that all of those beliefs and stories, they move around and they take on different flavors. So you have, the Celtic people were migratory across Europe, and they kept moving west, and they ended up in the British Isles because that was as far west as they could get. But there were pockets of Celtic belief and Celtic mythology and Celtic language in the Mediterranean, in Spain, in France, and then obviously in the British Isles. And then you have the kind of, I don't even want to say competing mythologies of the Norse, and they all kind of like come together and blend in Britain, and so it's cool. It's fun to kind of imagine a world where those myths and legends like never really went away, or they came to life in a new way. So that's been that process. And then of course the beginning of the book, you get a peek at Shadowlands, California. So that was really fun too. And I think, oh, here's one thing, fairy mythology, the mythology, and I don't even want to call it fairy, but the mythology of a secret race of often small people is very universal around the globe. You find that in lots of different histories and world mythologies, and like there is that in North America. Like they're not called fairies, obviously, because they have their own word for it. You have it in Polynesian mythology, you have it in African mythology, and so you have, and so that was a really fun way to be able to tie the Shadowlands together, where in Western European tradition we have elves and fae and fairies and these kind of myths and legends. That is really kind of a universal thing, the idea of like these secret kind of tiny magical people in different parts of the world, and so you see that pop up all over. So that's really fun. Let's see. Blackmore's Night, Richie Blackmore and Wife Folk Music is a fun group. Cool. Circle. Circle of Life in the background. Oh, yeah. Yes, because we went full circle. Thank you. Thank you, Colleen. See, just listen to Malibu. It's really good. So Malibu's the new Mumford and Sons single. It's really good. I think it's better than Rushmere. That's just my opinion. All right. Anyone else have any questions? Yeah. Colleen says, I immediately think of Irish mythology when I think of fairies. 100%. But that kind of Celtic, it's not just Irish. It is uniquely Irish, but it is broader than that. And there's a lot of, because like in Wales, there's specific fairy mythology that you see that's a little bit different than Irish fairy mythology. It's a little bit different in Scottish. It's a little bit different in England. But like the idea of like magical little tiny people or big people who have power and are related to nature and that kind of thing, like that is really, really common all over the world. So yeah, so that's been fun. Let's see. Oh, also, just to let you know, if you didn't already, um, the Blood Mosaic audiobook is available in my direct store. It's going to be in my direct store for a while until like gets all set up and distributed. But we're probably going to start that process next week. So if you want Blood Mosaic, it's in my direct store right now. And I appreciate everyone who has bought from my direct store. I make so much more money from my direct store than I do at any retailers. All the audiobook retailers are kind of crap for authors. Anyway, First Light is in progress. First Light it's done, actually. The audiobook is done. Ava Lucas finished it. It's just in post-production. So kind of like in the editing process right now. So that should be coming pretty soon, you guys. What else? That's it. So audiobook news. There's special edition hardcovers of both Blood Mosaic and First Light in the store. So here's the First Light hardcover with the printed edge. And let me grab Blood Mosaic if you haven't seen it. It's bloody beautiful. This is it's kind of hard to see. But yeah, there you go. You can see it a little bit better when the light's not directly on it. And that's what it looks like when you open it. It's really, really pretty. And let's see, travel plans. Shelly was asking about, I think it was Shelly? No, Shelling was asking about travel plans. The only thing I currently have on the actual calendar is going to DC for ApollyCon. So hopefully I will see some of you there. Sequel to the 13th month. I was able to do the research for that last fall, so I will be working on outlining and writing, pre-writing, and getting all that plotted and everything this year. It won't be out this year, though. So I think that's it. Heavy question. If the rumored book bans of romance happens, do you have a plan? I do. I don't feel super comfortable talking about it right now. But yes, I have thought about that. If you don't know what Jessica's talking about, there have been rumors and there have been proposals, actual legislative proposals, to try and ban romance writing, and which would mean holding people like criminally liable, romance writers criminally liable for explicit content in books. Obviously, don't agree with this. Don't agree. It is a violation of the First Amendment, which, big fan of the First Amendment. And I do have options. We have a home out of the country, so we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Colin was asking about the type of paper used for Blood Mosaic. Is it thinner than normal because of the type of printed edges? It's not actually thinner than normal. It's a 50-pound paper, so it is the thinner I should clarify. It is the thinner paperback paper as opposed to the thicker paper, 70-pound paper. So it is a little bit thinner, but it's still it's not like the pulp paper, if that makes sense. Like for trade paperbacks, like the little, like the kind of square ones that it's really thin. It is slightly thinner, but it is not significantly thinner. But yeah, that's, I can see the reaction shots to you guys have about the proposed legislation to ban explicit content and in romance, and that would affect everybody. Obviously, not just me. That would affect readers. That would affect. But this is a reality. It is something that we have to be aware of because this is legislation that they are pushing in right now, currently in Oklahoma. I believe it passed, and they're kind of disguising it as one. Yeah, they're just kind of disguising it as one thing. You know, they're saying it's like to protect kids and that kind of thing. But really, when you look at the actual language of the bills, it would criminalize any kind of explicit content that some people find objectionable, basically. And that would have, and it wouldn't just be books. It would be movies. It would be video games. It would be art, even. So Hannah says she is making plans to start an underground romance book swap club, and I'm here for it. Power to the romance readers. Hannah, I appreciate you. But yeah, it's definitely, I'm part of the Authors Guild. It's something that we are very aware of, and it's something we just have to call our representatives and senators about to make sure that that is not something that happens. But currently we live in a democracy and representative government, and so it's important to make your voice heard. So if you love free speech, then you should definitely make that clear in who you're voting for and how you vote and how they react. Phone calls work, you guys. You know what works even more than phone calls, though? Writing good old-fashioned letters. This is actually a doctor friend of mine is doing this because he's very concerned about Medicare and Medi-Cal, and so writing letters is actually really, really effective. So make your voice heard. All right, you guys, that is enough for reading, watching, and listening. It's so good to see you guys. I love hanging out with you. Let's go have a glass of wine, read a great book, watch some fun TV or movies, and I will see you in a couple ways. Or, couple weeks. All right, you guys, take care. Bye.